AJ is in New York. Now, you've been in New York before, but you've never been here like with Ak and Barak, and you was recently in Brooklyn. That's our hometown.
Right.
We weren't invited to that game.
No, they called me. They called me and told me you was coming, because you know I run Brooklyn.
I had to get the pass.
The pass.
Yeah.
Man, so how's New York treating you so far?
10 out of 10. I like the place a lot.
You like it?
Yeah, and last time I was here, it was only for a day or so with the
Klitschko thing.
Yeah, we was here actually for the Klitschko thing, but now we was in Portland before.
Right.
So
you skiing or walking on the snow or something?
With some like Navy SEAL experts about what they go through is quite similar mentally, not physically, but the mental state.
Right.
So I'm learning a lot from those guys. Finished early, so we came to New York early, and I've had a good time.
Check it out. When we was in London, we got you a hat, right?
Yes, sir.
But this time, you know what we got? We got the lineal title. I don't know what the hell that is, but yeah, here's the lineal title.
You know what?
Like what
that sparked
what the
a few
heck is
debates.
Right.
That sparked a few debates, and they're saying that lineal title was way before all the WBC.
Right.
I don't really know too much about the lineal title, and that's where I was coming from. Is that
Right.
what I knew about was the 5 titles that we're trying to secure now, but the lineal
tangible, something you could see, something
That's what
you
I'm
could
saying.
feel.
Yeah.
Now listen, if somebody's the lineal champion, right? If he dies, guess what?
you can't pass it on.
You can't pass it on.
So Lennox was the last lineal champion, and he retired.
Right.
Nobody beat him.
So it should be
gone.
done.
It's
It
gone.
should not exist anymore.
Because that's the
with the
saying,
belts
you
now.
have to beat the man. So
right.
that's where I was coming from.
Right, and you were just trying to make it clear that you're willing to fight Deontay. That was basically the, essentially what you was trying to get across to America.
All
and
Fury.
I think he made it all Fury. What did you think of the fight?
Good. It's good for boxing. It's good for boxing.
Did you
yeah.
think who won?
It was close, but I think, as much as I think Fury win, I think that you have to come to the next man's backyard and knock him out.
It makes sense, even though fights are scored by rounds, but I understand your point too. That's how boxing is. Doesn't matter
So
how
with
big.
that fight, it's scored on rounds, but I do believe that there are hometown decisions and so on and so forth. So I think if you go to the next man's backyard, you have to be willing to go the extra mile. A little extra mile.
Right. Do you feel like, a lot of people say, AJ can be a big star in America if he does press, if he goes on shows.
Yeah.
Is that one of the reasons why you went on?
Yeah. So what I realized, I want to fight here, and I'd love to. Even being here now, I said, I want some of this. I want some. I want to bite at that apple.
Right.
But then I realized is that I don't want to come here like cold. I want to come in warmed up, appreciate the American culture, meet the people, meet the press, speak with you guys. So when I come here, we can hopefully fill out an arena like this and start building on something, on a foundation that's already been built. It's about coming here now, being involved in the fights, not from inside the ring, outside the ring.
Right.
And just like mixing with the culture, appreciating American culture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
You ever think about doing some acting, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah?
One life, why not?
Yeah,
Right.
I live once, bring me every opportunity possible.
Right.
It's all fun. And I think I'm trying to come out of my shell a bit. Normally I would be like, nah, that's not really me.
Yeah.
But then Will Smith's a great example of everything he went and done and achieved.
Yep.
Always open to new opportunities.
What about, was it Idris Elba's post?
Idris Elba.
That post, he said, forget about people saying stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Try something new.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Correct.
Because that inspired me. Now,
That's what I'm saying. Don't stay in your lane. Never stay in your lane.
What do you want to accomplish in 2019? Like as far as we know you got the date. You got Wembley.
With the fights.
Right.
Just as I said, secure the fight with one of the big fighters. And if not, secure someone else that's number 3, 4, or 5.
Like who would be ideally, if it's not Fury, it's not Wilder, who's your next ideal opponent?
Immediate next.
Ortiz, Miller, or White.
Wow.
My top 4 selection.
I don't think anyone's ever heard you mention Ortiz's name before. Hopefully.
Yeah, you know what, you're right, because you know what it is for me, I always felt like these guys, they want to fight, but I've always felt like I brought a lot more to the table. So, let's say they want a lot in terms of what their reward is to fight me. It's like well above their station. So I never even mention these guys' names because I already know what they're expecting when they fight me. And I know it's something that I'm not willing to give. So.
Right. So they're looking at you like, the jackpot. If I'm going to fight AJ, I need to make a ton of money to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess they all have to look at you that way, essentially.
You know what I've always said it like is that they should look at me as a situation where, look, I'm a fighter, and especially at the heavyweight division, anything can happen. If they beat me, I will land a good shot, and they manage to knock me out. They hold the keys to the city.
Right.
So don't just look at me as like, let me just fight him and get what I want and then run off. No.
Let me take a real crack at it to be
Let me take
champion.
a real crack. This is my shot. Let me earn it, and then after I beat him, then I can go and now dictate what I want. People look at me like, let me get what I can out of this guy now. I'm not thinking of because I used to take the low ball.
Right.
I took a lot of the times when I was fighting, I took the short end of the straw, but I always saw the long-term plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you think you're going to start fighting outside of your country?
Soon, hopefully next year. That would be a goal, to come and fight here. But I want to kind of connect with the American people first, more.
Right.
America's a big...
So you got to be here. We'll bring you on a tour.
Yes.
I want to be
Look at what our agent.
I want to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah. We want to take you to the hood in Brooklyn, though.
Yeah, so I want to visit the schools, go to the projects, and connect with people from grassroots. Even I want to see Kaepernick as well. That would be good.
Oh, Kaepernick. Oh, yeah. That, I mean, so that's important to you, like giving back, whether it's financially or being an inspiration to a lot of kids. Is that like on your agenda?
Yeah, man.
As a man?
Yeah, definitely.
How important is the zero to you, right? Like, because Floyd created this narrative, right? When I was a kid, in Barak, we had tons of conversation about this. A lot of those champions like Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, they took L's. Ali Robinson, he took so many L's. Yeah. But those guys just still remained on top because they fought each other. It wasn't an issue. Then comes Floyd and puts so much value on the undefeated record, and it tightens the game because guys don't want to take risks in big fights. What's your take on that whole thing?
So I always said I want to build myself something bigger than boxing or bigger than the titles. So it doesn't matter if I took a loss, even my rematch or my comeback fight will be bigger than the fight I had before.
That's usually how it is.
Yeah, so I always wanted to build myself in that sense. And it is important to stand undefeated because that's showing how good you are.
Right.
But if you do get beat, it's just showing that you're fighting the best in the division. Right. And especially now, the guys are bigger, stronger, and faster. So for me, it is important to win because that's like the competitive edge. Mm-hmm. But I understand that in reality, losing does happen. This is sports. So I just got to say basically that I can ride the wave. And if one loss defines my whole career, then I don't want them type of people supporting me.
I got you.
You know what I mean? One loss, if I do lose, shouldn't define everything that I've done in boxing.
So that list that you gave us with all of those names, which one you think would be your toughest fight? Just off eye test.
None.
Right.
I don't think, anyone I fight is not going to have an easy night.
Right, with you.
Yeah.
What would be if you had a boxing New Year's resolution, what would it be? What do you want to change in boxing for 2019? If there was one thing that you can change.
One thing I can change. One thing I can change. I would probably the respect fighters have for each other. Because I always feel like my job is to pull this fighter's reputation down to try and enhance mine. Right. But we should lift up the sport in general. So the people outside look at boxing as a sport that is
gentleman's sport.
And then it puts more bums on seats, which earns you more money. But if someone just listened to what boxers say, they wouldn't be interested in watching because they think, he's an idiot, he's disrespectful, I don't want my son listening. No grandma or granddad's going to listen. So you capture that market around 20 to 30.
Right.
Yeah, you capture that market, but you need to be capturing the market from around 10 to 70, where it connects with all people. So I'll say, rather than disrespecting, just respect each other, but have your confidence. So be confident, not cocky.
We're gonna play the standing 8. It's just something we play with every fighter. 8 rapid questions. It's just we're gonna give you 2 options. You gotta shoot right away.
Dubai or New York?
Dubai.
Mike Tyson, Ali.
Mike Tyson.
Slim model type or BBW?
BBW. Oh man, maybe both.
Under Armour or Hugo Boss? Matter of fact, no, I'm not gonna mess your money up. I'm gonna throw that one. I'm gonna get rid of that one. I was teasing you with that. That wasn't a real one. Reggae, hip hop.
Reggae.
Michael Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Oh. Suit or tracksuit?
Tracksuit.
Pounded yam or banana?
Pounded jam. All day.
There you have it, standing 8.
What is the worst advice you've ever gotten in this game? Don't matter who it's from.
I just think something simple is don't worry, son. You just focus on the boxing and leave everything else to us.
Eddie Hearn said that?
No. I didn't say that. But you know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure you've heard that
I think
before.
It's important for a manager or a promoter to educate his student. To let him know, this is what you're going to do, this is how you're going to get on. The better the student does, the better the promoter or manager looks. So I think it's important. And I always think with Mike Tyson, the people that were around him, if they would have not tried to steal...
They loved him, if they cared about him.
Yeah, then everyone would have still been eating till this day.
Right, exactly.
Till this day.
Oh, shoot. Wow. I can see that you do care about things because you're talking about fighters outpricing themselves.
Right.
So you're concerned about the money, how much they make as well.
I think that's why I would fight Dylan, because I'd rather break bread with him. That's my countryman. We've had issues since the amateurs, so if anyone's going to eat, it should be him. But it's just
thoughtful of you.
Yeah, I understand where I was. I understand everyone's got to eat, but I just think they should be realistic as well.
Okay.
What's the best advice that you ever got? Business, life, anything?
Never be afraid to ask for help. You know, and as a man, we have ego sometimes, and I got this. Don't worry, I got this. But I feel, a lot of my success has come from people opening doors for me because I asked for help.
There you have it.
Thank you,
MSG with Anthony Joshua.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.